So you want to stop reacting to every little thing that your teammates do. My name is Kelly. I was a nurse to CEO, and my mission is to help you get the life and career of your dreams. So how do you stop reacting either to employees or other teammates in the workplace? Number one, you really need to prepare about what are your triggers. What do I mean by that? If you know there are certain topics that trigger you, that you really kind of get under your skin, and you know what I'm talking about, you really need to prepare for that in advance if you can. For example, you know that Susie Q really kind of snaps back at you maybe when you're doing the schedule because they don't want to do whatever hours that you need them to do for the company. Really prepare. How are you going to react when the next schedule's out? How are you going to respond to them? Because preparing will help you remain calm so that you will be the leader you want to be. So the next time you know there's going to be somebody who's going to get under your skin, prepare for how you're going to respond to that. But let's say you can't prepare for it. Let's say it's something that came up and it was a topic you weren't expecting and you're feeling it trigger you a little bit. Take a pause. Take a breath. Buy yourself some time. And I know that can be hard, especially when it's maybe coming at you hard. But again, remember when you are calm and in control, you're coming across again as a leader that they need you to be and that you want to be. And that's the most important part. But it also helps when you take that pause and take that breath. It helps you formulate the response that you want to get. Because we've all been there, right? Where we responded in a way that we really wish we hadn't later on. So taking that pause and taking that breath buys you that time. Be cognizant of your body language when you're doing that. So really think about your expression on your face. Really think about how, and that's in particular, the expression on your face. If you can learn to have more of a relaxed posture while you're thinking, that will also really help you. So then when you're taking that breath, you think about how do I want to respond so that you can respond appropriately to that question. And maybe the response is, you know what, I don't appreciate your tone right now. Maybe we ought to talk about this later when you've had time to think about it. That will also buy you lots of time, right? That'll buy you lots of time to think about how do you want to respond to this Susie Q who's upset about her schedule. So Susie Q is saying, you know what, I don't like this schedule. I feel like I have to work every time that we have XYZ happening. I'm not happy about it. So your response be, you're taking a breath. Susie, I understand you're not happy with the schedule right now, but your tone tells me that this isn't a time to have this discussion. When you're ready to schedule an appointment with me, we will sit down and discuss your concerns, and then we will also talk about why the schedule says what it says. That buys you time to really prepare to think about how you're going to respond to that employee in the future. Sometimes it may be a misunderstanding, and that's why there's emotions happening. Keep in mind, they may know that they're getting under your skin, especially like our family, right? They know just the things to say to us to get under our skin. But sometimes they really don't know. And sometimes it might be a misunderstanding on your part. So ask clarifying questions. Help me understand, Susie, why the schedule is a concern to you this way. Help me understand why your schedule needs to be this way. Asking clarifying questions might be like you might have made an assumption, oh, they just never want to work weekends or they never want to work evenings. And that may be the case, but really ask clarifying questions. Maybe it's, hey, did you know I worked, every weekend for 3 weeks and so didn't? And so I really need to work on, can we look at a shared weekend? And I'm just kind of making things up here, but asking clarifying questions helps everybody understand what the problem is. But if it is what your assumption was, and they just really don't want to work evenings and they really don't want to work weekends, something like that, asking clarifying questions now allows you time to say, well, did you understand the position when you applied for it? Did you understand those were your hours? Do you understand that everyone is working weekends and evenings, and so you're needing to do your share? Asking clarifying questions, now you understand what their perspective is, and you can either kind of put them and educate them with facts on why it's important they do what they do, or it helps helps with misunderstandings so you can have a better, more collegial conversation. Focus on performance. Focus on the performance of whatever's happening. So if the trigger is, they're upset or they're acting in a behavior that doesn't meet the values or the standards that you have set or the company has set, don't focus on, because they're going to try to spin it on you, right? They're going to try to, again, get under your skin, maybe place some blame on someone else. You need to focus on their performance. There might be some truth into whatever is happening to cause the behavior, but focus on their performance and keep it very factual. Susie Q, we've talked about this before. We've talked about that the schedule is we need this amount of staff to staff our company, and it is your turn to work this Friday night. We've talked about this before. You can maybe trade with someone. However, this is the expectation, and here is the policy that shows it if there is, but really stick to the facts and to the performance. If the person is raising their voice, Susie, I don't appreciate you raising your voice right now. There's really no need for that because we're discussing a schedule. When you're ready to have this conversation, let's sit down and have that conversation. Or maybe it's, Susie, you've come to me with this problem, and I appreciate that maybe that's a problem with Friday nights. So please think about 3 solutions to this problem, and let's schedule something next week because I'd love to hear your solutions to the problem that we have. It may be that. Empower them to come up with some solutions so that it's not always you taking that on. Turn it into a teaching moment. Sometimes people just don't understand why you're needing to make a decision that you make, and so their behaviors are triggering you to maybe react in a certain way. So really take a deep breath and turn it into a decision, or into a teaching moment. Think about what are the issues occurring and here's why. People, honestly, majority of the time, when they understand why you're doing something, they don't react maybe in the way that you expect, because often the reaction is based on a lack of knowledge. And I have found in the absence of information, most people fill it with negativity. And so if they understand more of the why, everyone is de-escalated most of the time. And honestly, it really just comes with practice. You have to practice controlling your emotions. I do have a video on emotional intelligence that you can take a look at. I really think that could be helpful. But really, it comes down to practice controlling your emotions, practice understanding how to see things from others' perspective, and really having that dialogue in a professional way to be more productive. So please let me know what triggers you. Like, what are some of the conflicts that you have that you want us to talk about? And maybe we'll do a video on that. I'd really love to hear in the comments below. Please give me a like and subscribe. It really helps move my channel forward, and take a look at this next video.